Hello, Mairi.
Hello, Sven.
For the second of the duets, you're going to sing me a song.
Yeah, I'd like to sing you this song that Dave and I wrote a few years ago now, and it's really just about how we look at life. And at the moment, it feels so extreme that I need reminding of this quite frequently myself, and that's why I'd like to sing it for you. The leaves in the deep green wood are now brown and gold, and the warm September breeze blows harsh and keen and cold. The mist hangs on the shore in the morning light, and I never thought I'd miss you more than I missed you last night. But the pool of the flowing tide could bring me back or sweep me away, and the sun has been known to shine on the coldest winter's day, and the howl of the winter wind could be heard as a tender sigh. I guess it's all in the mind, whether we choose to smile or cry. The swan flies over the trees on its wide blue road, sunlight on its beating wings as its quiet path unfolds. But the pool of the flowing tide could bring me back or sweep me away, and the sun has been known to shine on the coldest winter's day, and the howl of the winter wind could be heard as a tender sigh. I guess it's all in the mind, whether we choose to smile or cry. I guess it's all in the mind, whether we choose to smile or cry.
Thank you. That was nice. Beautiful. How do you reach out? How do you reach out so you touch people? Hmm. You did that right there, Mar. Thank you. You said sun? You said that the sun was.
But
I heard the word sun at one point.
yeah, the oh gosh, it's so different when you're speaking the words. The pool of the flowing tide can bring me back or sweep me away, and the sun has been known to shine on the coldest winter's day. and the howl of the winter wind can be heard like a tender sigh. I guess it's all in the mind whether we choose to smile or cry.
It's very clear. Yeah. How do you see? You have these eyes, and everybody sees the same. Well, you have your eyes. I have mine. I'm here in one part of Portobello. I'm very high. You're in your apartment, but it's the same reality. But it can't be the same story that we tell or the same feeling we get. And it reminds me of it's. I don't know what it is with you, but it's all you bring me to the northern part of the world. This is the story that they tell in the darkness, in the darkness. I mean dark. It's 1/2 of the year, more or less 9 months, that there's nothing but darkness. There's nothing but this. Sometimes it's grey sky. And when they look out there, it's like, oh no, can't do anything about it. And it was before the sun and the moon was coming on the sky there. So it was absolutely no day and night. It was just this night, greyish night thing. So they were telling stories all the time. But it was one thing. It was really acceptable to walk around and just lay with who you like to be with. You just pull in under the duvets and find a body, and then you're curled into this body and had a good time. But it wasn't acceptable to be together with your brother and your sister. That wasn't something that they looked good at. So there was this woman who she was very beautiful, and every night there was the same man coming to her, and she was like, that's not working. Who's this person? I mean, has to be another man next night, but always, he was there. So she took there was some dust from the fire, some coal. So she put it on her finger and had it on his back so she could see who it was the next morning when they got up. And they lit their lights there, and it was her brother. And she was like, no way, it's not going to work for me. What is this? I'm going to get out of this house, this place here. So she took what she could grab of the sticks and placed it in the whale oil and lit a fire and ran as far as she could. And because she was so fast, she ran up to the sky. And there she started to become what we now know as the sun. Her brother went after her and grabbed what was left of the sticks, had it in the whale fire there and lit it. And then he went after his sister. And that's what we can see every day on the sky. The sun is running away, but the moon is coming. The brother is coming after his sister. But once in a while, because he didn't have a lot of the sticks, he had to go down and put it back into the whale oil and lit it again so he can be on the sky again. Every day we see it. The sun is going up and going down. The moon comes after it.
Thank you.
Why do we always have to go up there? I don't know. You made me do something last time. When you said that you were doing these paintings, you reminded me of my horse period. I haven't done a horse for a very long time, but later that day, maybe 2 days later or something like that, I was sitting and I was talking to some people in Denmark. We're going to do stuff holding a meeting, and I was starting drawing, and suddenly this one came up.
Yeah.
It just happened. And when I showed it to my Swedish colleagues, she said Sleipner because he has so many legs. But I was going around like, no, it's not Sleipner. First of all, it's a female, as far as I can see. And then there's something about this belly. Yeah. So it reminded me of a story that's from here in Scotland, actually. And it's about Big Hughie. I mean, I'm big. They want me to get up there and show you. Just show you I'm big. Double my size. Can you do that? Can you get this Big Hughie? When he was in a door frame, you couldn't see light. It was gone. He was like, shoo. He lived up in the Highland, alone by himself, in a house that was constructed for him, so everything was a little higher. The doors was a little higher. Everything was like that. And so, one day, the way that he lived was really much for himself. He was just having this cottage, and he was very happy out there in the cottage. But once in a while, he had to go to the town. He didn't have any money, but then he went down to the mill and asked them if there was anything for him to do. And there was always something. I mean, this big, huge man was strong. He was enormous. He could lift whatever. So there was always something that they had sort of spared for him. Big Hughie come over here, and he went, and he had a good time working there. And in the evening, when it was afternoon, they had a little wheat ram, and he felt good in his stomach when he was walking home. But then suddenly, as he came to a crossway, just by the crossway, in the grass there was a woman lying in pain, screaming. Her belly was swollen like this. She was giving birth, and her contractions just surprised her right there. And as she was walking towards Big Hughie's neighbors, they're quite far away, but suddenly, in the midst of that, she started in labor. And Big Hughie had never seen a woman like that before, so he didn't know what to do, but instantly he just sat down, and with his big hands he reached out, and she held these big hands and just pressed very hard in the big hands. And that was kind of a relief, but he knew that he had to have her down to the neighbors about a couple of miles down the road there. But he didn't know how to hold her, and it was November, it's really cold. She was already frozen. He could feel that by her hands. And then there was a brown mare. He was standing there with the other horses, was just looking at him. And he looked up, and he was like, they had this eye contact. And it was like Big Hughie understood in that second exactly what he had to do. So he said to the young woman, be calm, I'll be back. And then he started running. And the mare ran, tried to escape Big Hughie, but he just ran and ran faster and faster and faster. And he came up to the side of the mare, and the old one looked her in the eye, said thank you, and I'm sorry, and broke the neck of the mare, and they tumbled, both of them. He cut her open, took out the inners, found some heather, cleansed it, and again some more heather, cleansed it, took this horse, now without the inners, and dead horse, and brought it to the young woman, and made her clear that he wanted her to get inside the dead horse. And she sort of pushed her way into this. The smell of this dead horse was really, but it was cozy in a way. He had made it cozy with more heather all around. So she could feel that she was lifted up and brought on his shoulders. And he asked her if she was all right, and she said, yes. But then she had this pain again, and he started moving very, very fast. And he went all the way down to the neighbors, came down there, opened the door, and he had to go sideways in. So what they saw was this horse, the head of a horse, leaning like this, swinging. So they all screamed and feared the worst, that might be the devil coming into them. But the woman in the house stood there and looked at it and saw there was something going on. The big Hughie came in and he opened the horse, and there was the woman. They brought her in and gave birth to a beautiful, beautiful boy. And big Hughie was standing there thinking, what am I going to do about this? So there was this dead mare. He took it, brought it, buried it, had a little cross with a little thank you. A year after, something like that, a boat came and a young woman came with a little boy, and she came all the way up to him and said, this is the boy that I gave birth to, and I call him Hughie, little Hughie. They sat there, the three of them, and spent the whole afternoon, and then she walked back and sailed away.
Thank you. Wow. Love that. Hughie.
Hughie.
I imagined that Hughie would play the fiddle for some reason. Big guy like that. I've seen big guys like that in Cape Breton. Big Hughie. There's a tune called Hughie Shorty. There's guys with big hands, like pads of meat. And they can play the fiddle so sweetly.
Yeah. So gentle. It's true. It's this thing about big men and gentleness.
Yes. Yes. Yes, that's it.
Thank you. It's brought us back to some joy. It was nice. There was a lot of...
Yeah, it was. I could just see him actually at the the energy give it, and the energy of that was big.
Yeah.
The horse and then the descent. The beginning, I was feeling about the dance at the crossroads. As people walked, they would dance at the crossroads. There was the crossroads were where people would dance. That it felt like a time that there might have been that would have happened.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
That was a duet. That was a very crisp duet. What do you say? Duet?
Duet.
Duet.
Duet. Yeah, it was sharp. Sharp. Sweet.
Sharp. I see you soon.
What's that?
Take care.
Yeah, you too. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
See you soon.
See you soon.